Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to do a video on calibrating your steps. So go ahead and open up your UGS, and I'm going to get me out of the picture for right now because you guys didn't come here to see me. Alright. Once you open your UGS, on your console here, you'll see all your parameters. If you don't see them, go down here, just click on it, hit $, and then hit enter, and then you will see them. You may see some other stuff, and if you do, you just go over on the sidebar here, alright, and then scroll until you see your parameters. So what we're going to want to do is copy these parameters in case you make a boo-boo and in the future you say, oh, sugar, what was that number? I forgot. Well, at least you'll have a copy of them. So go ahead and start out where the 0 is here. Just hold down your mouse key, scroll down. Alright, right to where it says OK. OK is fine to be in there. Release your mouse key, right click, click copy. Alright, and then I have Windows 11, so if you have Windows 11, go ahead and push your Windows key plus R, and then in that field type Notepad. So we open Notepad and click OK. Alright, Notepad is open. Go ahead, right click, paste, and then file save. Save as. I'm going to save this, and you guys can do the same as CNC parameters. Okay. Would help if I spelled it right. I guess this is going to be one of these days. Huh? There we go. And I have desktop highlighted, so it's going to save to my desktop. I put it on the desktop because it's easier to find, and then if I want to move it later, I'll move it later. Alright, go ahead and click on save. Now it's going to tell me I already have a file saved. See, it already exists. Do you want to replace it? I'm going to click no because I already have it. So you guys you won't get that error message. But so I'm just going to click cancel, and you have saved. So now you'll have that on your desktop. Alright. Now, the parameters we're looking at, parameters 100, 101, and 102. This is the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. Mine are set all at 160. Now, some machines are going to be different. Some of your 4040s, I think, might be 800 or something like that. Okay. But on the 4030 that I have, it happens to be 160. So we're going to go over to the machine right now. And basically, you're going to put a couple pieces of tape down on your spoil board, or if you don't have a spoil board, just put a piece of plywood or something like that on your, mount it down to your plate, and then put a couple pieces of tape on it so we can go ahead and do this test. Alright, and then come back over, kind of get your tool. You want to use a V-bit, so because we don't want to actually drill into our thing, we just want to make a mark is basically what we want to do, so we can measure some dimensions. So put a V-bit in there, And then we're going to come back over to the controller. Just make sure your tool's not touching your spoil board yet, or your piece of plywood that you have in there. Come back over to the controller. Okay, so what we want to do is go in the bottom of the console here, click on it, and we're going to type M03 S12000. And what that is, it's clockwise direction and spindle 12,000. Alright, and I'm just going to put you back over to the machine before I hit the enter button. It's going to turn our spindle on. Okay, so once we turn our spindle on, come back to your console, and you're just going to jog your Z down, so make sure your Z feed rate is low so you don't crash into your spoil board or your material, whatever you're using. I have the feed rate at 100, so we'll go back over to the machine, and basically you're just going to jog Z down till you touch that material or your spoil board, whatever you're using. So we'll go back over to the machine. Alright, and we're just going to jog down until we touch that. And I just touched it, so now we'll come back off of it. Alright, then we're going to come back to our controller. Your spindle's still running, don't worry about it, you're not touching the material. And we're going to type in G21, which is millimeters, G0, which is rapid, G91, which is an incremental move, alright, Y 75 decimal point, which is 75 millimeters, and we're going to move that 75 millimeters in the positive direction, which makes the machine actually move towards the back. Okay, so before I hit the enter key, I'll take you back over, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and you'll see that moved 75 millimeters. Alright, so now we're going to actually jog down Z again until we hit the material and make a mark. Alright, I just hit it, then we'll come back up off the material. Alright, then we'll come back over to our controller again, and we're going to type in G21, which is millimeters, G0, which is rapid, G91, okay, X 75 millimeters decimal point. Alright, and that's going to move us to the right, which is a positive move in the X 75 millimeters. So we'll go back over to the machine before I hit enter so you guys can see what we're doing. I'm going to hit enter, and that moved us over in the X direction 75 millimeters. Alright, now you're just going to go ahead and jog down your Z again until you touch the material, which is right there, and then jog off. Okay, now we want to do some dimensions, so we're going to come back to the controller. Alright, type in M05 and hit enter. That's going to shut your spindle off. Alright, so I want to jog X out of the way so I can get a dimension on these. So let's increase our feed rate. We'll take it up to 1,000. Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and move X, or I'm sorry, Y out of the way. Jog Y. Now it's back out of our way, so we can go ahead and take a dimension. Alright. Again, my machine is pretty accurate, so, but you're going to want to use a pair of calipers to do this. Alright. If you don't have any, you can get them at Harbor Freight, or you can order them on Amazon if you don't have a Harbor Freight by you. Set it on millimeters. We're going to take a dimension on this. Okay, I'm right at 75 millimeters, which is accurate. Okay, so you're going to say, okay, so what did that prove? Well, if you take a calculator, alright, our parameter is 160, type in 160, alright, and then times it by what I programmed it to move, which is 75, alright, equals 12,000. Divide it by what it actually moved, so divided by it actually moved 75 equals the 160 that is in our parameter. So if it didn't move 75 millimeters when you did your test, you're going to go whatever your parameter setting is. Mine is 160, okay, times what I told it to move, which is 75, alright, equals 12,000. Now, if your machine only moved, let's say, 74 millimeters or 76 if it went too far, you're going to divide this by whatever it actually moved. So let's say you only moved 74 millimeters. Divided by 74 equals 162.162. So what you would do is you would change your parameter to 162.162. Okay? So coming back over to the machine, all right, let's go back to the console, and you're going to say in your bottom here, you're going to click on that, and you're going to click on, you're going to $, and whatever parameter is off. All right, in this case, I'm just going to show you and say X, which is parameter 100, 100 space equals, and I'm going to say I want to change that to 162 because it only moved 74 millimeters. All right, so if you go and you say 162.162, and then you hit enter, in order for that to accept that change, you now have to hit $, and then enter. Okay, and you're going to say, well, that didn't change because it's still 160. Well, it's not still 160. If you scroll down, all right, to the bottom, let's grab on this thing a little bit. You'll see that parameter is now 162.162 in the 100 parameter. Okay, that's how you would change that. But mine was accurate, so I'm going to change it back to the 160. Alright? But whatever your outcome is what you change these to. Now, if it went too far, you're going to get a different number. So that's the number you would put in there. But mine went exactly what I told it to go. So my parameter of 160 was good. So I'm going to go ahead and change this back. Alright. So the way we change it, again, $, parameter 100, space equals 160, decimal point 000, enter, and then to accept it, we have to hit $, enter, and that'll change that back to the 160. And if you scroll down, you'll see the new parameter. 100 is actually at 160. Okay? So that's how you do that. Now, to do your Z, alright, I'm going to just pause here for a minute because I'm going to change out so I can show you how to do the Z. So, to do your Z, okay, go ahead and make yourself something up like this. This is nothing more than a piece of wood. I drilled a 1/4-inch hole in it, put a 1/4-inch dowel into it, drilled a 1/4-inch hole over here, rounded the pencil a little bit so it fit nice and snug in there. Alright, and just put that up in your machine. Tighten up your collet. Doesn't have to be overly tight, just snug it. Alright. And just take a piece of wood, raise your Z up, take a piece of wood that's square, just make a mark on it. That's all you need to do. Alright. Then we'll come back over to the console. And then in the bottom here, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go G21, G0, G91, which is incremental. And then we're going to go Z, negative, and I don't need to go too far, so we'll just go 50 millimeters, decimal point. Okay, then we'll hit our enter button. Okay, and then once that goes down that 50 millimeters, do the same thing. Come back, just mark it, mark your tape. And as you can see, I got 2 marks on there. Take that dimension and whatever the outcome, you do the same exact thing. Alright. Mine happens to be at 160, my parameter. Okay, so we do 160 times, this time we moved 50 millimeters. Alright. So times 50 equals 8,000, and then you're going to divide it by your actual dimension that came out on your stick. So you measure between these lines and divide the 8,000 by that, and then let me get a dimension. Mine actually came out 49.999, so we're going to say 50. So if you divide the 8,000 by 50, whoops, let's do that again. 8,000 divided by 50 equals 160, which is correct. And that's what my machine is at. Now, again, if you got 51 millimeters, or you only got 49 millimeters when you measured it, you would divide the 8,000 by that. So 8,000 divided, this time we'll go to the extreme, and we'll say it moved 52 millimeters. So we'll divide it by 52, and that's what you would set your parameter at, 153.846. Alright, and you do it the same way on the Z as I did on the X. So you would actually come back to your controller and you would put $, alright, parameter 102 space, and then we're going to go 153.846, which is what that came out to be. Well, we need our equals in there. Equals. Okay. 153.846. Enter. Then you're going to hit the $sign twice again. $sign, enter to accept that parameter. Alright. Now if you scroll down to the new set of parameters, of course they're down on the bottom, so we'll go ahead and, it's hard to see this square, but you find it and you drag down to the bottom, you'll see that new parameter is set at 153.846. See it? Parameter 102. Okay. Now, mine was accurate because it measured accurate. It came out 50 millimeters. But I just changed it so I show you guys how to do it. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and change it back to 160 because mine worked out correctly. So we'll go $, parameter 102, space, equals, space, 160, decimal point 123, enter. Oh, I must have hit the wrong button there, so let's do that over. Just $, 102, space, equals, space, 160, decimal, okay, enter, and then $sign twice again, enter to accept it. And if we scroll down, we could see it changed 102 back to the 160. So that's how you do it. Alright. Any questions or comments, feel free to email me or leave a comment. I'll get back to you. And please like and subscribe to the channel. And if anybody is interested in doing maybe some manual programming or something like that, I can show you how to write some manual programming and how to save it in Notepad, and then we can import it into UGS if you'd like. Just leave me a comment or shoot me an email. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you out. Thank you and have a good day.